Welcome to this video against Dogmatov. He invites me to play the Sicilian, so let's do it. Yeah, well, I just play some normal developing moves to bring him also a bit out of theory hopefully, because I mean most people play the open Sicilian with white, so pushing for d4 directly. I can take control of the center now, playing d4. I think I just do this. I don't see a reason why I shouldn't. And okay, he wants to play bishop g4 likely. A lot of pieces of black are aiming at d4. I want to keep control here over e3 over d4. So I wonder if knight d2 is possible, and then after bishop g4 h3. But I think he has problems to develop his bishop here anyway. So let's waste this move here h3 to strengthen my center position. And now I wonder if it's better to have the bishop here maybe on c2, or just helping the king side. I mean, he will play b4 likely. I think I just retreat the bishop here. Yeah, he would have won tempo even more by playing b5 if I moved bishop c4 or a4. The dark squares are a bit vulnerable here. And where should I put my knight to? Did I just blunder the pawn here on e4? Oh my god. This is not so nice. But I can play now bishop d4. I was wondering what happens after bishop d4 now, but is it so bad for me? I mean, he locks in his bishop, so okay, the pawn here on e4 is not protected, but is it a big deal? I think I just, if he plays e6, I take. The square c5 is a square I want to use for my pieces now. So now I'm almost threatening here to take. I'm threatening a4, and then he has problems here with the pawn on b5. He cannot take because the bishop is on b7 is hanging, and yeah, I will do this. And if he plays b4, I have the nice square c4 for my knight here, and I can jump to b6. So the black squares are not easy to protect for black. I need to take care here about my king side. So here you can see that this bishop is quite important to protect here also a bit my weaknesses. Yeah, well, I can play queen b5, or maybe bishop b5. I mean, normally if you are a pawn up, I don't mind exchanging queens, but he has so many problems with the queen. Where does he want to go to? Well, I just take here. And now I mean, I'm threatening also bishop d7. This bishop is not protected. Now everything is falling apart. And unfortunately, this rook is not protected. Let's just move this, because now the rook is protected by the queen. D6 was my aim, or just retreating here the knight now. 1 minute, that's a problem. So he will likely take here now. Otherwise, I mean, he will just lose a rook. Rook c3 is maybe a nice move as well. Rook c3. Didn't consider this one. I mean, he's losing an exchange anyway, but then he gets the bishop here. But he's taking his time. Yeah, I mean, rook c3 looks really not that bad. I think I just take then. Need to take care about any possible knight e2 moves. And I'm not allowed to, I shouldn't fall asleep here. Or did I disconnect? I'm not sure. I don't know how I can check it. Let's hope that I'm not disconnected. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't have any pawns left here on the queen side, so whenever pieces are exchanged, I will try to push forward my pawn. That's one idea. Black needs to attack me here, so but yeah, it's very hard to do. So let's hopefully just exchange some pieces. After rook c3, which I think is the best move, despite taking here. I mean, if he takes here, I take the queen, he can take here, I take back. And he lost the queen against a rook and the bishop. It's not that the game is over then. But I also have this pawn here, which might be very important in the end. I pause the video maybe for a second. So now I'm back. I tried to contact him, but it didn't work, so let's see what happens now. I didn't win, so maybe I disconnected. Oh no. Let's see what happens here. White won. Okay, I was almost afraid that I lost the game here. Alright, so in this game, what I think was a new idea, or what means new idea, what is sometimes a good way maybe to play, is in this position to be passive. I retreated the bishop here to f1, and I could have played bishop c4 or bishop a4 and c2, c3, maybe to attack a bit the king, but at this position I just have one minor piece around my king, and I was afraid that some of the black pieces might attack my king here later on. This knight later on jumped, for example, also to f4, or threatened to attack here a bit, you know, and the bishop might sacrifice here. So this is why I played bishop f1. So sometimes it's really a good option to keep control of important squares and to protect also your king. And you could see that later on that this bishop was playing a very important role here in this attack and at the queen side. It would be very bad if the bishop would be here on c2 or b1. It was just looking here at this pawn. I like the bishop here on f1. And as you can see now, black has almost really problems. He cannot take, the bishop is hanging, and after taking here later on, yeah, maybe black didn't even see the bishop here, because if bishop are, you know, long-armed pieces, yeah, and he's well, you know, disguised, so to say. Yeah, keep this in mind. Sometimes passive-looking moves are quite strong. Thanks for watching.